Hey, everybody, welcome to episode 44 of the Geek Perspective. I am your host, Roy, and on today's show, me and my co host, Tom, are discussing our favorite Netflix TV shows. So stick around for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Plus, Tom has a surprise for you guys in a little bit, so stay tuned for that. So, what is going on, Mr. Thomas?
Hey Roy, how you doing today, buddy?
Living the dream.
Yeah, so we should mention Derek had a conflict today. We were supposed to review Ready Player One. It was announced. We are moving that review to next week. So if you have watched it, don't fear. We will be discussing it next week when Derek is back. So that is why he is not with us today.
Yep, he has other stuff going on, so we're all by our lonesomes.
Mm-hmm.
So see if we can survive without him. So I want to jump into some controversial Captain Marvel news. I guess I don't know if you've heard, Tom, but some fans are still unhappy that Brie Larson is playing Captain Marvel.
I heard that there's they want her gone, huh?
Yeah, they want her out. It blows my mind. And I guess recently there have been more petitions to get her ousted, and one of them has gotten like 30,000 votes or signings. I should say votes signings of because they want to cast a woman of color. Which now let me just say, I have no problem pushing movies and TV for add people of color,
Mm-hmm.
but unless you do it correctly, this is done right. This doesn't help anything or anybody. It doesn't do anything. And what was wrong? What is wrong with Brie Larson? I don't see anything wrong with her being in that role. None whatsoever.
So I feel like people think like she's too outspoken and stuff like that, and it's like they're bringing her real life personality because she talks about social justice and rights for women and the underprivileged stuff like that, and I feel like the sort of old white heteronormative people in this in this country and in the industry and stuff just don't like that because they're still stuck in the dark ages. As far as the racial stuff, obviously, I would defer to you, because you are better suited to speak on it than I am. But I would say I agree with you. Now, if there was a solid reason, I obviously will listen to anybody that has it, but to do it just to do it, I think I need more. You know what I mean? I'm not opposed to it at all, but I don't have a problem with Brie Larson. I don't have a problem with what she says. Now, I don't know for sure that that's but I do think that's some of it because I remember the backlash over some things that she said, and and it became bigger than the movie. What's that?
Old white guys got mad about it.
Yeah, exactly. Old white guys, you know what I mean? It just so, I don't get the backlash. I personally just don't get the backlash. So I just don't get it.
Well, bottom line, Brie Larson should stay as Captain Marvel.
Yes.
I mean, later on, if they want to add a different Captain Marvel, make it a good reason for it, I get it. Great, fine. But Brie Larson, I think she was awesome as Captain Marvel. I think she should stay as Captain Marvel, and just people to say, well, we should add a person of color. And I'm for doing that for certain things, but it's not like Captain Marvel's been around for even a long time as far as movies go. The movie just came out last year, 2 years ago, whatever it was, and let it run its course. Maybe 20 years from now, 10 years from now, yeah, maybe you'd be ready to do something different.
Now, let me ask you, as a person of color. So,
I hate that term for so much.
What's that?
I said I hate that term so much. Person of color.
I don't even like saying it. I don't.
It sounds weird.
It does. It sounds very weird to me. Yeah. And it's funny.
I'm black.
And I don't. And honestly, I just don't even see you like you're my friend. You know what I mean? And that's it. But so when there is this sort of now, obviously, racism, prejudice, it's all real. You know what I mean? And I'm sure you've dealt with it in your lifetime, and all these people do. Do you think that it helps the cause when they when they throw something out like that with, because you obviously don't agree with it, they throw this out there without any sort of backing things, just saying we need this character now needs to be African American. Do you think that helps the cause, or do you think no? Okay,
it's kind of like I don't know what metaphor to use, but it's kind of like when you do something just to do it makes no sense.
Okay.
You know, like if there's a reason for it, it makes it better. Like, how is adding a black person or a Hispanic or an Asian as Captain Marvel, whether it be male or female, going to make that movie better? I don't think it does.
Okay.
I don't think it can. If a small section of society thinks it does, well, they're idiots.
Okay. I'm just curious as your thoughts to that, you know?
Yeah, it's just craziness. But that was my little talk about movies and TV news. So do you have any Comic-Con news?
Well, I'm excited for TerraCon a lot.
Same here.
What's that?
Same here.
You know, I still haven't decided if I really want to volunteer or just want to go as a guest, you know, because I really do want to go as a guest. I would actually love to go and be able to, for us to, you know, get some video, talk to some, you know, some of the celebrities, you know what I mean? Maybe get some interviews so we can put them up.
If we go as guests, we could, you know, we know how to get in there when everything slows down and stuff.
Yeah.
Go on and be like, hey, blah, 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 you know?
And we know the people that are going to be working it and running it. So, you know, we might be able to, you know, finagle some stuff. So, like, as it stands right now, I'm leaning towards being a guest just because it's a lot easier to. And plus, if we can just bounce out of there whenever, you know what I mean? It just, if we're, instead of, you know, just being exhausted at the end of the day and crawling out of there, you know, crawling back to the car and, you know, and stuff, it might be easier. But I'm keeping it open, you know, because I really want to go, you know, obviously loving horror and stuff like that. As far as Comic-Con, Rhode Island Comic-Con, I mean, it's still very early on. They have been announcing people here and there. Now, more of the, I can't think anybody offhand. I can look, but, you know, the bigger names, obviously. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, Linda should go. That would be awesome, man. We should all go.
Every time it comes around, she's always working.
Oh, really?
Every year.
Well,
she switched to weekends, so hopefully she'll be able to go this year.
It's
yeah. It'd be cool for us to meet up with them. That'd be kind of cool, though.
Yeah, that would be awesome, man. The more the merrier, man. That would be.
Talk about that actually.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, you know, well, you know, at Comic-Con, as I was saying, Comic-Con, you know, the bigger guests will be announced later, you know, as you get closer, because it's not even until November. So, but they have been naming a few people, you know, here and there. Looking forward to next year. I really wish or hope maybe that we could get press or at least get some video there too, you know, and for our channel here, because man, those weekends are tough at Comic-Con. By the end of the weekend, man, it's tough working them. So
maybe one of those siblings would do a video promo for our show.
Yeah,
if we paid for it, I'd pay for it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Hey, you know, be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would. It would. I really this year would, you know, like to get us interviews or video, you know, some outside video for our channel, you know, this year. I think that would be good for all our supporters and getting us new ones too.
And that's a big reason to go as just patrons.
Yeah.
You know.
For sure. For sure.
But we'll have to talk about that soon and figure this out.
It's June, right?
Yeah, June 13th and 14th.
June 13th, 14th. All right. Yeah, I mean, we still got some time, but yeah, that's I am looking forward to. Oh yeah, there's also the South Coast Comic-Con I think is coming up soon. Sorry. It's kind of a loose episode today, guys. I don't have a ton of notes with us because of the change that we had to make during the week. But yeah, the South Coast Comic-Con, that's coming. And then the Northeast Comic-Con, I believe, is in March or April. Just two smaller cons so that I want to check out. I've gone to Northeast before. And South Coast is in Swansea. That's right. I believe maybe next weekend or the following weekend. And then, yeah, the other one's March or April. If you want to come, Roy, or anybody. I don't go for a long time. It's like $10 to get into them. So, it's $10. I go walk around for a couple hours. You know what I mean? I don't feel guilty, just leaving after a few hours for $10. So.
Are there celebrities there also, or just
like minor, like Northeast Comic Con? Like they had like Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees. They had the sister from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the older sister there, one year. So it's sort of and I don't like saying this, but what people would consider maybe B or C or even D-list celebrities. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would like though.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool seeing the older sister from Fresh Prince, but I felt bad. She sat at that table, and not many people came up to her for quite a while I was there. But one thing at that one time when I went to the Northeast Comic Con, it was cool. They did, because they have cosplayers, and they did a wedding in there. People got married in their costumes, and everybody in their wedding party was all dressed up. They were like hobbits or something from Lord of the Rings and stuff. I'm not really into cosplay, but I thought it's cool. I like looking at cosplay. You know what I mean? So they're fun little cons. They are.
Well, they think about going to it. That's all. We will plan this. We
Yeah.
have planning to do. We have a lot of stuff to plan.
Yes, we do.
We get very busy. All right, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe to our show. Click that little bell so you stay informed when we release new content, and comment on the video. And now Tom's got a surprise for all you kids. Oh boy.
All right. So we kind of did an unboxing like in one of our very early episodes. It wasn't anything exciting. Not that this one's going to be that much more exciting, but me and Roy, and it isn't a mystery box, Scott. It is not a mystery box. Just so you know, it was just something that a new product that me and Roy were both ordered it for us. So I'm just going to go grab my knife.
Do, 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 do. Come on, Tom. We should be prepared.
Here we go. Well, I could have grabbed a kitchen knife, but I'd rather use my my work knife.
You're a big sharp one, like a Jason knife, dude.
Yeah, I got my work blade that I have to carry with me at work. So
just a professional.
So it's from $7 a pop, and it's pop related. So I'm excited. This finally came today. I've been waiting. I ordered last Sunday. It came, today. It was tough not opening. But
if you notice on Tom's table, he has the little saw guy on there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. My Billy, my cup, and I got some other things here.
I'm gonna be ordering a few of those soon too. Nice.
Yeah, the Jason. Jason's still my favorite, even though I dropped that one. Yeah. I shouldn't say that too loud. My girlfriend didn't know. I put it back in the box and just put it on display. I was like, "Oh, I don't want to use it, babe." So she didn't know that I dropped it.
Right.
All right, so here we go. $7 a pop. Here we go.
Great website, by the way, if you want pops cheap, good quality.
Yes, one of my absolute favorite sites. The guy's great. Check him out on YouTube too. He does some great videos. They do their drops on Sunday, Wednesday, and Sunday at 9 p.m. They do a drop on Wednesday at 3 p.m. and then they do a blind drop on Friday at 6 p.m. the Sunday and Wednesday, earlier in those days, earlier on Sunday and early on Wednesday, they release a picture of some of the grails that are part of the drop, and they have more than that. But the high ticket items they'll post on social media, so you kind of have an idea, and then you go at those times to check it out. Great. They do pop protectors, all sorts of stuff. So here we go. Dun dun dun. It is their new Pop Shield protectors. So again,
Nice.
It's not pops. These are brand new, and I have some of the old style too, so that we can do it. Now, he has been working on these for years, according, if you watch any of his videos, because the old pop stacks. Here we go. Here's one. They're not great. The bottoms fall out. I've actually messed up a pop in one of these. The bottom fell out, so I put my hand under like that to catch it, and it dropped out. And so then with the hand, it kind of popped back in, and it caught the front lip and bent that on like a $200 pop of mine. So I'm not a huge fan of them because the bottoms break, the tops crack, and everything. They're, and he's not a big fan of them. So he had been working for years on the new Pop Shields, and they finally came out. They finally dropped last week. So we're gonna take a look at them. So and they come 2 for you might in more. I know you get a 2-pack, a 4. You can get a 2-pack, 4-pack. He'll do a case, and there might be some other things. Shipping's included in the price. We went with the Florida pack because 2 for Roy and 2 for myself. Saved a little money by getting 4 as opposed to 2. I think you save like $9. Getting
That's a lot of money too to save. $9 is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, I know. And he does it. They're a little heavier, so that's why the shipping is included. Because they have to charge a little more. But oh wow, dude, these are nice. So difference, you can see right away. The bottom doesn't come off. That's cool. So right there, the bottom doesn't come off. Top does. It's got the Pop Shield symbol. That's on all theirs because they do the pot. He deals with Pop Shield, even on his soft ones. Top is magnetic.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. So let's put a pop in it.
And I remember when people got the other plastic ones, they used to like the ones that the bottom pops open.
Talking these?
I've watched people putting those. Yes, I've watched people trying to put those together and like keep it from putting the pops in and keep them in there at the shows.
Yeah.
And people had a lot of problems. You had no problem popping that off, popping it back on.
Yep.
People were having issues with the other ones.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, these are not great. Like I said, the tops crack. I have a ton of them that just the top cracks. What I do to use them is I have to tape the top and bottom on just so it holds it because I want to protect them. I've sort of transitioned out. Other companies have like soft hard. Like this is like instead of this is like a 0.8 millimeter thick. It's hard and soft, but it's protective. I've been trying a lot of different ones because I like the hard stacks, especially for pops that I have autographed, like this one. And I know there's a lot of controversy right now with VVGS. If you follow VVGS on social media, they graded a fake pop and put it out there, and they should have known because they're a grading company. But it kind of reminds me of this nice thick. This one doesn't open at all, and it's got the grade down there and the authentication for the Elvira thing. So I'm gonna put my autographed Tick Pop, autographed by God, you were with him this year, Roy. Why can't I? Patrick Warburton.
Yes, thank you. I do a blank also.
Roy
guy.
worked with them this year, and I wasn't able to get down to meet him, which I really, because Roy knows the Tick is my absolute favorite comic character of all time. And Roy happened to be working with him, so he was able to get his autograph on this pop for me. So let's see.
Yeah,
I did.
Tom's least liked Comic Con, I think, that he's volunteered for,
Mhm.
and but he got something great out of it. So I guess it worked
Yes.
out well in the end, you know.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. It was my least favorite as far as work goes of being in the anime room, but it yeah, this made up for it. This was, this I love this, It's my tick. Now I did read on social media the only thing is that it's tough. There's not a lot of air in there. So, but oh wow, no, it
Get
goes
right
in.
in.
It goes right in.
Wow,
It goes right in.
that's awesome.
No issues. Let's see. Let me here. That looks great.
That was very cool.
That looks great. Let's see how it is just to come out, just out of curiosity. Let's see. Nope.
Jeez.
Comes out nice and easy.
Now, what if you tip it over with the top on it? Look at that.
That
That's
is awesome.
The old one wouldn't do that, people. I'm telling you, the bob would come right out.
Oh yeah.
Tom said.
I had that pop that I brought over that time. Remember,
Yep.
I was trying all that stuff to get it fixed,
Yep.
and because it did. I mean, let me see real quick. I might actually. I think right here. Oh no, I guess I don't have it anymore. I was going to show you a broken one, but yeah, look at that. That I love the square. It's real thick right there.
Awesome.
What a difference. Side by side, old versus new.
Now, do they make the bigger ones also?
Bigger, like
I'm thinking about for my Jaws.
Oh, okay. So I do actually. I think I have one for you, Roy. As far as the Jaws, they don't make them in the hard. It's kind of like the soft hard, like I have on the other, on like the lesser pops. Like, hey, hang on. But because I did have one for my Jaws, and I think I have an extra one that I just keep forgetting to bring. So this is obviously a smaller one. It's kind of like this material for the Jaws.
Yeah, it still works. I don't have it in anything at this point.
Yeah. Next time I'm up there, which was hopefully next weekend. Hopefully our next show I'll be up there. I'll bring that because I did have one that actually fit the Jaws. They don't make the hard though. The hard ones are only for the normal pops, as far as I know.
That's still cool though.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. And obviously next time I'll bring that next time I'm up there, and obviously you're two, because like I said, Roy got 2 and I got 2. So wow, dude, those are really cool. That's awesome. I love it.
Very cool.
I love it. Dude.
You all don't know what you're missing.
Nice and thick in here, but nice and thick. Oh, yeah. Very cool. All right. So that was we'll call it our first real unboxing right there.
First professional unboxing.
Yep. And there's more to come, guys. We're going to be doing
more unboxings.
Yes, we got a lot coming up. And I'll put it on social media like I did today that we'd be doing an unboxing. I know for myself, we've talked about we're going to do unboxing on Funko's. We're going to do some mystery boxes for Funko. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you want to just keep yours a surprise, Roy, or tell them a little about your. Yeah,
we can tell them. We're going to do an Ultra Saber mystery box at some point, hopefully soon. Ultra Sabers are a company that make lightsabers, and figured do a nice unboxing of a lightsaber, and I think it'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, they do the mystery boxes. So
check them out. The ultrasaber.com. You should check them out. They're really cool lightsabers. There's actually I don't know if it's a company or what they have, but they do lightsaber battles where they have tournaments, believe it or not, where people will battle with lightsabers. And I don't know if they get money or how that all works, but some of these lightsabers are called stunt sabers, and you can battle with them, but which I'm not going to do that, obviously. I just want to display a cool lightsaber. And with a mystery box lightsaber, you can get one with sound, no sound, different color lights. The handle's different. It's pretty cool. So
they're very cool.
Unboxing of that at some point. So stay tuned for that. we'll let
Yeah.
you know when that's coming up. And
There-
in case anyone's wondering what's on the shelf behind me here,
Yeah.
that is a hot pepper challenge that at some point we might undertake. We'll see. We'll have some stipulations, maybe get us to 100 subscribers. We'll see what happens. We'll figure something out, and then we'll do this hot pepper challenge. And there's some hot peppers in there. There's some very hot peppers. So you'll want to see that.
Yeah, you'll definitely want to see me. I used to love hot, and now I'm old and I can't do it. So just to see my face will be worth you tuning in. Me and Roy have talked about it, and he will destroy me in the challenge, I'm sure. But it's going to be a lot of fun. So
yeah.
Stay tuned. And those lightsabers, I'm not a huge Star Wars guy, but Roy sent the link over to me that night, and I checked it out. Those things are sure. He was like, "Yeah, I'm thinking about it doing it." I was like, "You need to do this. They're that cool. They're that cool." So, yeah. Even a guy that's not into Star Wars, I'm excited for that. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. We'll be putting it all over social media that we'll be doing these unboxings. Yeah, we know that you guys love them. So
yes. All right, let's get to our main topic. Now it's time. So we're going to be discussing on Netflix, what we've been watching on Netflix, what we think you guys should watch, what you think you might like to watch. Man, there's been so much good quality stuff on Netflix lately.
Mm-hmm.
I myself, however you want to say it, I've been watching Sabrina, which is called The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, Part 3. One and 2 has already been released. Lock and Key, October Faction, and The Witcher. Those are some of the shows that I've watched recently. They're all really good shows, and I think you've watched most of them, haven't you, Tom?
I watch. I still have 2 episodes for Lock and Key, but I've watched most of it. I've read them all. I have all the graphic novels. Sabrina, I'm the one that got Roy onto Sabrina because he thought it was like a kid show, and I do have some problems with this latest season, but it's still good. But Roy was like, "No, why would I thinking I was a weirdo for watching it?" He was like, "Wait, watch that? What?" Weirdo. Back when I was younger and Roy was younger, there was a Sabrina show with Melissa Joan Hart was the actress, and was that Sabrina?
Yep.
And it was very
teenagerish,
sort of tween oriented and cheesy and corny. And this is a much darker take on it. So I watched that. October Faction, another one I read. I read all those, all 3 of those. I loved that. Witcher, I watched some of it. I just couldn't. I just couldn't get it through all of it. And there's some other stuff, like I go through phases, like when I'm done watching shows, I might get on like a documentary kick. I apologize if I'm a cord cutter, so I have Hulu, Netflix, and Prime, Disney Plus, all that stuff. So I apologize in advance if I accidentally say something that's Hulu and not Netflix. I try to keep it all to Netflix because that's our thing. But yeah, we're going to discuss all those. This, like you said, there's a ton of good stuff right now. Like this time, just a bunch of stuff just dropped, and stuff's coming up. Like the final season of Lucifer is coming soon.
Actually, hold up on that one. They're saying now this might not be the final season of Lucifer.
There's been even Kelly Clarkson has come out, and because she just finally is getting caught up, and she's like, I'm busy. I'm a busy person, so I'm behind. She's like, please don't cancel the show. They've already extended this season twice, I believe. Originally they gave it an extra 6, and I think it just got another 4 episodes on this upcoming season. Netflix is.
The last few days, there was a story on some of the roaming around the internet saying that Netflix is considering another season.
I would hope. I love that show. Love it. Yeah, and
I haven't watched it yet.
I think you'd like it. Actually, I do. It's I got to read some of the comics and stuff. Because when I first started watching it, I didn't realize that it was a comic book first. Or he was a comic character. I didn't realize that. And then he actually even had a cameo in the Crisis on Infinite Earth, right?
which you still have to watch that, by the way.
Yes, I know, and you'll be happy. The other night when I got home from work, I picked it up because I am in season. I was in season 5, and I put it on the other night, Arrow. So I'm trying to get through it. So
They actually have all the episodes on Blu-ray. I'm like, really? That's kind of weird. But I guess you can get it on Blu-ray now. I don't know why you'd want it, but hey, it was a good show though. So what have you watched recently that's your favorite show recently? What have you watched?
my favorite. Now we're talking Netflix, guys.
Netflix,
So
yeah, all
just
Netflix.
so that right, okay, yeah, we're talking Netflix. So, my favorite recently on Netflix. Ooh, it's tough because I really dug the October Faction. I really, really liked that. And I'm really liking Lock and Key, even though I do have some problems once, and I'll talk about them. I still have 2 episodes in this season to go. I'm trying to I did not like The Witcher at all. I thought it was terrible, and we'll get into
Couldn't
that.
tell.
We'll get into that. I would have to say, as of right now, in the last month on Netflix, what I've watched, my favorite would be October Faction right now. What about you?
Um,
And it doesn't have to be any of those. It could be
Yeah.
anything, you know.
well, just what we watched in the last month. I'd go with Lock and Key. And
Nice.
I'm surprised they say that because when I first started watching Lock and Key, basically, if you don't know what the show's about, um, in this family, a father dies. They move back to Massachusetts, the Locke family, and they move into this house,
The Key
and
House.
the key house, and the youngest child finds a key that's calling to him. And these keys basically have magic. If they open doors, when you go through that door, it takes you to certain places. And I don't want to give too much away, but I saw that and I was kind of like, I don't know. Seems too like magical. I'm not a huge magic kind of person, but it's done so well.
It is.
The actors are really, really good actors. Um, I just got sucked into it, and right now, it's definitely one of my favorite shows.
Now, the reason I didn't say it was my favorite, and because I still have 2 episodes left, so you know what I mean. I want to make a judgment after I watch all the episodes versus October Faction. And initially, and I told you this before I even started watching it, that I had read a review and they leaned more into the fantasy and less into the horror, because I've read all of them. I have all those comics. It's funny. Is all these shows that we're talking about. I have all the newer Sabrina comics. I have all the Lock and Keys, and I have all the October Factions. But Lock and Key, you know, it's horror fantasy, you know, and it's dark, and it has very dark points. And even like Roy said, the father died. The father was murdered, and you know, and it's but they do incorporate the horror aspects just lighter than they did in the comic. It's just a little lighter. Yeah.
Not well.
So they lean more into the fantasy. So I was very nervous going into it. I told Roy that and everything, but it's so well done and it's good. And they do touch on the horror, and it does, even though they lean into the fantasy, it doesn't take away from, you know, it doesn't take away at all from that. Now there's obviously changes, because there's changes in everything when you adapt it from print to the screen. You can't do it verbatim. I mean, wish you could, but it just can't. It's not possible. You have to add stuff. You have to take stuff out. You know, you have to, you know, because
things don't translate on the screen as it
yes,
is in paper.
Exactly. So, but it's very, very good. Very good. I can't wait. I'll probably watch those 2 episodes tonight. So,
well, Linda loved Lock and Key.
Nice.
Yeah. As far as October Faction, that was a show I actually liked. I was hopeful. Basically, and you can chime in because I just wrote a little snippet. Like, it's a family, a husband and wife. They're monster hunters, and they kill monsters, and they're trying to keep their children away from it, and don't want them to know what they do. They end up going home because the husband's father dies, and they deal with family and It's about the kids being relocated back to a different place, and it was kind of like, okay. And I was hoping that it would be more horror.
Hmm.
And again, that and Luck and Key are really similar in the fact that it's they both have horror, but it's not dark horror.
Yeah, exactly. I
And
know
it's
exactly.
weird. Yeah, Tom and I discussed this off air, and it seems like Netflix is going to this thing where, yeah, we'll give you some horror, but again, we don't want to take away from the millions of people that might want to watch this that don't like horror. So they're walking that fine line, and they're doing it pretty well. I
They
mean,
are.
I tell people I would tell people watch both these shows. They're good shows. Do I wish both were darker? Yes, without question. But
Agreed.
that's my personal opinion. I like dark and gloomy. Hell, I love a horror movie where the good guy doesn't always win.
Yeah,
You
me too.
know, it just changes things up a little bit. So
I agree. But we're
yeah,
but we're picking nits too because they're
yes,
really good show. You know,
really good shows.
they're really good shows. But
Well
I agree
done.
with you 100%. But me and Roy are horror junkies too. So you know, it's like I'll watch the cheesiest worst horror movie just because I know it's horror. You know, and
Yeah. And if you guys want us to do a review, let us know below, and
yeah,
we'll review the show if you guys want us to. But
yeah,
you know,
and whatever you want, we will review. Yeah, I agree. I could see October. I wouldn't mind the October faction being a little darker, and they do change some things. I was talking to Royal off camera about it, but I actually everything that they changed does not take away from it. Some of it's kind of corny, but actually, most of the changes really enhance the story. Um, just a little background how I originally got introduced. I was, you know, I'm a nerd and I read comic books. I will admit it. And you know, I was at my comic shop and I went that one week and I didn't have anything in my pull list, so I was just kind of looking around and I saw an older issue of October Faction. So I start, you know, reading the back, you know, and reading synopsis, even look on my phone, and then I read a review by Slash from Guns N' Roses that
nice.
you know, this is the best blah 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 comic I've ever read. He's friends with Steve Niles, one of the creators, and I'm huge Slash fan, huge Guns N' Roses. Grew up with Guns N' Roses, so that was enough to make me buy that. And then I ended up getting the whole run, and they haven't really released too much lately. But anytime they do, I grab the new issue. Great show, like Roy said. It's they are walking that line, but they're doing it very well, and it's very smart. I mean,
Mhm.
it's very smart of them too. I mean, yeah, I selfishly I could just be like, smart business, want to hire people, but you want to make it so, you know, like Lock and Key, kids could watch that. Now yeah, there's some parts that would be maybe not, but I think it's totally suitable for kids, don't you, Roy? Lock and Key,
Oh, most definitely. Yeah.
you know,
And
it's
and Netflix, you know, they do have a horror section, and there's some good horror on there. So I don't want to have people thinking, oh, their horror must suck there. And it doesn't. They have good horror movies on there.
in shows.
But
Remember the how Haunting on House Hill, right, or whatever.
yes, which we'll be getting to that in a little bit too, by the way. Um, yeah, that's a great show. Part two, stay tuned, will be coming out. But it's just that these shows that we're talking about right at the moment, I think are geared. They want to be geared toward family, but they're doing it in a way where, as a horror fan, I can actually get into it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I agree with you. I have nothing but agree with you there. It's yeah, both great shows.
and then The Witch is the greatest show in the history of the world. So
Oh boy. Oh boy.
actually, I like The Witcher, but I don't love The Witcher. I like Henry Cavill. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but I
Henry
like him.
Cavill or Cavill or something like
Thank
that.
you. He kept me watching it because I like him. I think he's a better actor than people
He-
would think. I think
He's a very good actor.
you know,
He's very good.
and I don't think he gets enough credit for that. and so I watched it mainly because he was on it, and it was nice seeing him do something that I liked post his Superman movie,
Hmm.
because I haven't seen much that I've really liked of him doing. So it was cool seeing something that I could watch him in. So
He's a good
yeah, I
actor.
liked it.
He's a good actor, and my critique is not on the acting so much as it's mainly the story, in even the story could is it's mainly the dialogue. I mean, gonna lie. It's mainly, I mean, it's this sort of fantasy show, and now is it in the future? Is it in the past?
I think it's an alternate universe.
Alternate universe,
That's what I
and
think.
there's you know, creatures, half man, half other goats, and all these stuff. But the dialogue is terrible. I mean, they were using 21st century idioms and stuff like that, and like phrases and turn of phrases, and stuff that we would say now. And they're just throwing it out there with this sort of heightened language that's not quite Shakespearean, but in that vein of fantasy, heightened, you know what I mean? It has an older feel to it that I guess I'm not explaining it right, but it's just sort of heightened language. That's how I would, coming from English degree and theater degree and stuff, that's what we called it. It's heightened language. It's, a la Shakespeare. But then they're throwing in, like I said, idioms and just stuff that we say now, and it did not make sense, and it's corny. And then there would be, I just remember this one scene, and his character's got to make a decision, and they like pan in on the character's face, and this really cheesy music's playing, and it made me want to vomit. And I was just like, oh my god, this is corny as hell. And I'm sorry if anybody out there that liked it. I put my foot in my mouth with the coworker. He asked me if I had watched it yet, and I was like, oh my god, it was, I did, and it was terrible. I was going off, and I said some not, I didn't say anything really like personally insulting towards anybody, but some stuff that, he turned to me afterwards, and after I just dissed it for about 5 minutes, and goes, my wife really likes it. I was like, oh, my bad. Well, that's not a
Well, that being said, I can see why women would like it. Henry Cavill is half naked through most of the show,
and he is a
so
very pretty man. He is a very,
yes,
very
he is.
pretty man.
Yes,
So
he is. So I can see why a woman would like the show. Doesn't take away why you didn't like it. But
yeah.
only you, Tom. What,
Yeah.
what are some other original Netflix shows have you watched that you've liked? Anything you can think of?
Well, the horror one there, the haunting there on
Hill House?
Hill House. I always say it backwards. Haunting on Hill House. One that my girlfriend watches, and she says ironically, and I always bust on her that she really likes it, is Fuller House. Because I'll come home from work, she'll be asleep, and that'll be on the TV and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna lie, I have caught some episodes of it, so I am kind of familiar with it. I actually grew up on Full House, so I was a fan early. I think early on, I don't remember it towards the end so much, but early on, I remember watching it as a kid on
The
TGIF.
show's ending, right?
I believe, yeah. It's got one more part coming out, I believe. And then it's ending. Trying to think. What about you? Let me think for a second. And
I got Haunting of Hill House was probably my favorite shows ever on Netflix. Santa Clarita Diet with Drew Barrymore.
I got into that right before the last season when it ended there.
Yeah.
So disappointed that they canceled it because The title doesn't know justice.
No, none whatsoever. That's why I didn't watch it for so long. I'm like, what the hell is this?
I had no. I thought I saw Drew Barrymore, looking like a housewife in Santa Clarita Diet. I thought it was like a sort of a new age show about like rich women in Santa Clarita, and what they ate,
And if you don't know what it's about, basically she wakes up one day and she's craving human flesh. So she's basically turning into a zombie, and it's a comedy about them trying to feed her and all the crazy stuff that happens. It's a really funny, really good show. Check it out. Santa Clarita Diet.
Oh, I just remembered a couple of them. Some that I liked. So House of Cards.
I never
Great.
saw it. Yeah, but I heard that's a great show.
Great show. I'm not going to get into the whole drama with Kevin Spacey. Not even going to touch that, but it was a great show. What's that?
You get off though.
I just don't want, and it's too bad because I used to, Kevin Spacey was at one time one of my favorite actors. Another show that it was weird. It was like I was drawn in because of horror, but it wasn't good. And I readily admit that is Hemlock Grove. You ever watch that?
Yeah, I'm intrigued by it. I haven't pushed the button yet, but I'm like,
you should watch it, Roy. You're a horror fan. I'd love to actually talk to you about it because I have watched it all. It's not great. I'm not. It's better than The Witcher. But it's not great. And I can't believe I forgot I'll talk about more afterwards, but forgot this one. Orange is the New Black. My girlfriend got me into that, and I had some problems with that show. It like the way they portray the prison, like it's more like a dorm, like a freshman dorm and stuff. It just doesn't come across as real to me. And granted, they had to go beyond the story because it's based on, the real person and a real experience, but they went for 6 seasons and, and had to extend that story from her original book. But my girlfriend got me into it. And I resisted liking it. And I got to say, I ended up liking it by the end. And there were some episodes and even some parts of even some seasons that were very hard to watch for me because it was just I couldn't get over the corniness of it and the way they were treating prison, But then again, I've never been in a woman's prison, so I guess I can't really speak from experience.
Neither have I.
But it just came across as corny, but it's a very good show. Oh, and then I can't believe we forgot about The Big Show.
The Big Show?
The big Netflix show that the new season will be probably September, October. You don't know what I'm talking about? It might deal with Upside Down and Russia and Hopper and Stranger Things.
Umbrella Academy?
Stranger Things?
Stranger Things?
Isn't that? Yeah.
Wait a minute. I thought that comes out in July.
I don't. The first season. I don't know. The first season was July. I thought it came out in October, September.
I'm confused. I'm like, I don't think it always come out in July because the first 2 seasons come out in July.
I thought the last season came out in September, October, though. I could be wrong on that.
I could be wrong, dude. Don't go by me.
But yeah. So, what about you? Some other shows?
Oh, the Order, which is a really good show.
You mentioned Umbrella Academy.
Was that?
You mentioned the Umbrella Academy.
Yep. People should watch The Order, though. The Order is a really good show.
I haven't. So, tell me a little about it because I haven't seen that yet.
Basically, this kid pledges a secret society in college.
Okay.
Instead of university, and the society is secretive, and there's mystery and magic involved in the society. And he pledges the society, and you find out why he pledges a little later. And I don't want to get into that because it's part of the story. I don't want to give it away.
Yep. People
start dying. So people start going crazy, and people start dropping like flies, and then you find other creatures get involved, and it becomes this big story, and it's going one way, and then it flips because some people aren't who you think they are, and it's another one of those shows, just like Lock and Key,
Hmm.
October Faction. It's in
Okay.
that realm where it's horror, but it's walking the
Supernatural.
line.
I
Yeah,
looked
it's walking
at
that
saying
line.
supernatural horror.
What's
So
that?
I looked at a thing that's called it supernatural horror.
I
So
wouldn't even call it that. I would call it like a I don't know. Oh, I
it's
almost
called
want
a
to call these shows
supernatural
like,
horror drama, actually.
see, I don't want to call it that. I want to call it almost like a Disney horror,
Okay.
where it's not there's not a lot of horror at all,
Okay.
but there's enough to keep someone horror fans invested. Um, it's just a really well done show.
Nice.
Like there's nothing scary about it whatsoever. I don't think a kid would even be scared. It's just like October Faction or Lock and Key.
Nice.
It's in that realm of like horror, but it's more fantasy, but there's horror elements
Very cool.
that I think I'll go watch. But also Umbrella Academy, another great show which I did not expect to like at all. And then finally, The Irishman.
Oh,
The
that's a good movie.
45-hour Irishman was a great movie.
Yeah, it was.
And Linda, she can't wait for Stranger Things.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. It was funny, Linda. I resisted that show. I was just like, I'm not gonna be, because I wasn't into Harry Potter. I remember getting into I was acting in a play in Chicago, and one of the older guys in the cast was talking about the Harry Potters, and I was one of the few that's just like, oh, that's so stupid, blah blah blah. And then he turns to me in front of like it's a cast that we were doing A Few Good Men, and he turns to me in front of the whole cast. He's like, why don't you like it? And I was like, I'm just not into little boy wizards. And I get I didn't mean for it to sound like it did, and like everybody's laughing, started making. I felt bad, started making fun of the guy. I didn't mean for it to sound that way. But Stranger Things, I resisted in that same sort of way, and then I watched it, and it just sucked me in, and the nostalgia alone will keep me watching. But then it's just fun. It's fun. A few others I want to mention real quick that because I just looked at a list. Netflix really does kill it with these series. I gotta say. So, 13 Reasons Why was a great show about a girl who commits suicide, and she leaves tapes detailing 13 reasons why she committed suicide, and then it goes on from there. And very well done show. Very controversial, just because they don't like doing talking teen suicide, but I think it's important. I wish there was more. When I was growing up, depression, anxiety, stuff like that, it wasn't thought of as like something that you fixed. It was just something you dealt with, and and it led to a lot of problems in my life that I've come out on the other end. But it took me, it took me 50 out of a very dark hole, because growing up, depression, I didn't know, because nobody talked about it. It was just like, you're depressed, deal with it. You have anxiety, everybody has anxiety. Not, like, I didn't know that a 7-year-old was not supposed to have anxiety. And I did. I would worry about the weirdest, craziest things, and just, and they'd just be, oh, that's Tom, and that's whatever. And, come find out I have, sort of, I don't want to get too much into my thing, but, sort of struggled with stuff. So, great show. 13 Reasons Why. Ozark, very underrated show starring Jason Bateman. He plays the money man for drug dealers, and he has to move to the Ozarks, and very great show. I haven't watched Mindhunter yet, but everybody says to watch it. And then one show that we talked about, Roy, but we haven't brought up, and I actually hated, Altered Carbon. Altered Carbon.
I'm on episode 2. I haven't gone back to it yet.
I did not like it. A friend of mine at work really liked it. Looking forward to the next season. I just could not get into it. And the acting's good. I'm not a huge sci-fi guy, so it was not my cup of tea. But Roy's been talking about checking it out. I said,
Yeah.
I want him to, just so that I can shit all over it. So
I'm on episode 2 right now. It's better than I thought it would be because, again, the name Altered Carbon. I'm like,
it
the
doesn't
hell's
tell you
this?
anything about the show.
No, what is going on with people naming things and like stupid, like what are you doing? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I know
But yeah,
exactly.
after I watch this, we'll do a little Q&A and talk about that show definitely.
And I forgot about Black Summer. I really liked that show.
Another good show. That wasn't my favorite, but I liked it.
So Black Summer technically is a prequel to Z Nation, which I love, the goofy sci-fi show about
love that show.
What's that?
I love that show. Z
Oh,
Nation.
okay. I thought you were saying you didn't like.
No,
I love it.
Got to meet some of the cast, so it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I did too. That was the year we met, actually.
Yes.
That was the year me and Roy met. We got to meet some of the cast. I remember it because me and him were walking through and we saw some of them. And I saw the kid that played 10K, and it was me and Roy standing there, and there's like nobody around, and out loud I just go, "Holy shit, it's 10K!" And then he came over and talked to us for a minute because
that was awesome.
And but Black Summer is technically a prequel, and then they kind of got away from it, calling it a prequel because it was a serious take on Black Summer. Is in Z Nation is what they call when the right after the zombie outbreak happens, and then they go to war, and then they call it the Black Summer, where it just like everything goes to hell. It finally the zombies kind of outtake society and stuff in Black Summer, and then this show deals with that, and it's much more serious, where Z Nation leading into the comedy and what kind of crazy zombie they could have each week and stuff. This was a very serious take on the Black Summer, and so I remember they were like, "Oh yeah, the prequel," and then a week later they just kind of took that fact that it was a prequel out of all the show's descriptions, and they just stayed away from it. But I thought I liked it. It was a good show.
Good. I liked it. It wasn't my favorite, but it was definitely a good show. Now, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Any shows that you think people should check out on Netflix?
That I think they should check out?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think everybody should check out the ones that we taught: October Faction, Lock and Key, and Sabrina. Like I said, I very, very, very much like 13 Reasons Why. This is more serious. We don't always talk about serious movies and stuff like that, guys, on here, but it's a very good show. I would say check that out. I mean, all the ones that we mentioned, I think people should check out. But in order of importance, I would say that Mindhunter. Like I said, I haven't seen it yet, but everybody's telling me to watch it. So I'm trying to go through the list. What about you?
Everything we suggest you guys should check out regardless. You guys should just be zombies and just watch whatever we tell you to watch. Yeah. But that being said, I have 2 shows you should definitely, they're movies that you should definitely check out. One, I think Tom will agree with, The Green Inferno. Really good movie.
Yeah.
It's basically about these student activists, and they're fighting in the rainforest to save an Amazon tribe, which is being squeezed out by logging. Typical, reality of life that's actually going on. Mm-hmm. But their plane crashes deep in the jungle, and it's about them trying to survive because the natives aren't too happy that they're there. They won't be left alone. And it's about them and the fight with the natives. And it's, you see the name, The Green Inferno. You don't think much, but it's a really good movie.
It's like go ahead, Rob. I didn't mean to.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Tom.
It's a Mondo style film too. Like when I say Mondo style, I'm talking like the old town. It came from Italy. Like a Cannibal. Dead Alive is one of them. Or I want to say Cannibal Corpse. That's a band. It's Cannibal Holocaust. Cannibal Holocaust. It's these Mondo sort of films, like like Cannibal Holocaust, they had thought that that might have even been real and kind of like a snuff film, and that's kind of where that Mondo genre came out of, because they weren't sure if it was real or not because of the way they shot it. It was almost like a found footage type thing. So yeah, I agree. Green Inferno is very good. Eli Roth,
Yes.
and Hostel, he's great. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's fine. And then one more. I think it's one of the best movies that I've seen, as far as you put a movie on not expecting much, and it's probably one of the best movies. I would say in my top 10 that I've watched in the last several years. The movie is called Would You Rather.
Oh, I haven't seen this.
This is a horror movie about a deadly game. These people get invited to this house, and they basically have to do things to survive. Like, basically, someone will be handed a gun, and they'll say, shoot yourself in the knee. And this is all for money. The winner gets a ton of money. And they'll say, like, shoot yourself in the knee, or because of you, I'll take this guy's eye out. So you have to either shoot yourself in the knee and suffer severe pain, or watch the guy get his eyeball scraped out of his head, and it's your fault. Stuff like that. And it's about these people that, you deal with consequences of life. You don't know these people, you don't owe them anything, but at the same time, they know you're the reason that they're being tortured. It's a really good movie.
Would You Rather?
What's that?
You said it's called Would You Rather?
Would You Rather? Yes.
I'm writing it down because it sounds like something I would really like.
Oh, such a good movie.
A few older shows that I think everybody should watch, and these are shows that I think, going back to your question now, they're older on Netflix, but I would check them out. Is The Wet Hot American Summer. There's 2 seasons. Technically it's 2 miniseries, but it's really 2 seasons. The first one is First Day of Camp, and then the next one is it Last Day of Camp? Oh no, 10 years later. 10 years later. It takes it just elaborates on the movie Wet Hot American Summer, all the same. Paul Rudd's in it, Amy Poehler, all the guys from that sketch comedy show The State, like Joe Trugia. I'm so bad at names. Great show. I forgot to mention Glow. I love Glow. I think everybody should check that out. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, I really enjoyed. Another girlfriend, an ex-girlfriend, got me into that, and that was a really fun show. And one show that was only had 5 episodes, but was I really liked, and these are comedy. I'm a big comedy fan too. It's called With Bob and David, and it's Bob Odenkirk and Dave Cross. Some of you might know they had a show back in the 90s called Mr. Show on HBO. It was a sketch comedy show that was about 5 seasons. Probably the funniest comedy show of all time. It was just so great. And then 20 years later, they did a Netflix show. It was with Bob and David. They get back together and do comedy. Just great. It's obscure, but it's great. You should definitely check it out. And guys, I could go on for days. There's so many good shows. If you're really, you should check out all the ones that we talked about, and we're missing a bunch because we could go on for another hour or two. Big Mouth, God, there's so many.
Big Mouth is awesome.
Yeah, just do a Google search, type in Netflix original series, and they'll send you to Wikipedia. It'll list every original series, every original movie. I mean, the list goes on. Dude, I didn't realize they really do kill it with the shows, man.
The original, I watched their original content more than I watched the stuff they just add on.
Yeah,
because the original content is so good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm looking. This Wikipedia page goes on for. I just keep scrolling and seeing more that and just like, yeah, I could go on for days.
So what's our review for next week, Tom?
Next week is Derek's review. Like I said, we just moving. this week we were supposed to do Ready Player One. We're just moving it to next week. So you have an extra week if you haven't watched it. If you have, don't worry. We will be talking it next week. Derek, knock on wood, will be back with us next week. So, Linda's asking about the ranch.
I have never seen that.
It's funny. I'm not a fan. My girlfriend was telling me that my mom was trying to get her to watch it because my mom liked it. Although my mom kind of stopped watching before the last part because she said it was just getting too depressing for her and everything. I didn't. The episodes I saw, I wasn't really a fan. It seemed like the set seemed weird to me. It almost felt like a play more than a TV show. The way the lighting and the set was, it seemed like they were on it felt like they were on a sound stage. Not when they're outside, like on the farm things, but like when they're in the house, it feels like they're on a sound stage. And I'm not always a fan of What's that?
Because they were.
Yeah, I know, but other shows you don't feel like it. This show you actually. And then I'm not always a fan of a sitcom where it's set up, punchline, laugh. And set up, punchline. Oh, she agreed. Oh, okay, good. I was wondering if I was the only one that felt
good,
that.
He says.
I know Linda. Usually agrees with me because she's a very, very intelligent person.
Yeah, you.
And disagrees with Roy because obviously, but no, I wondered if I was the only one that felt that way. But yeah, I'm not always a fan of that. And they kind of have I don't know if it's live studio or canned laughter, but I'm just not always a fan of that personally.
They overdo it sometimes.
What's that?
I think they overdo it sometimes.
I agree. It's one of those ones I think we'll end up watching, me and the girlfriend, at some point, but it's pretty far down on the list. So
I guess another one of those shows where it's like, I like the people that are on it. I should watch it.
And then there was that controversy with Danny Masterson there, and accused of multiple rapes, and they ended up killing him off and stuff. So, yeah, I'm sure I'll watch it eventually.
Yeah, same here. All right. Well, thank you, Linda, for chiming in today.
Yes,
as always. Our best viewer. We'll have to give her a gold star.
Yeah, I can't. I'm really looking forward to when we do the show from her house. We have to meet her, and I think
we're talking about that at work. We're gonna plan this.
Yeah,
it's almost over.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, definitely have to plan this. But I want to thank you guys for watching this show. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Comment on the video. Tell us what you guys are watching. Tell us what you guys want us to review. Do you guys want us to review some of the shows that we talked about today? Let us know. Tom's displaying a little skeleton right now. Want you a little skeleton real quick, Tom?
Oh, I guess I will. Yeah, I just found this at FYE. It's an old Wacky Wobbler from 2005. I haven't really been buying pops or anything lately, but I have a thing for older kind of stuff. It's bobblehead Wacky Wobbler. I was like, I'll grab it. It was real cheap at FYE. Yeah, like I said, it came out in 2005. They must have been cleaning out the warehouse, so I picked it up. But
when I come down, we're going to FYE.
Yes, it's right by. I can't wait for you to come down here, Roy. Man, you're gonna have so much fun, dude. Like,
I'll get my returns to coming out my federal taxes, baby. We're going shopping.
Hell yeah, I can't wait. I've been not buying stuff just like for when you get down here, so that I'll get it when we're all together.
I'm actually on vacation last week of the month.
Oh, dude, I mean, whenever you want to come down, you can crash here. I mean, it's all good. You know what I mean? It's you ever want to come down this way, you're more than welcome.
Definitely have to plan that. Definitely. Yeah, so look at my taxes. I'll let you know.
Sweet.
Shopping. I get my Jason cup. I have to order that though because they don't have that in the store.
Yeah. They have it.
But anyway, for Tom, myself, everybody, you have a geeky great day. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you all again next week. Bye bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye, Linda.